Okay, the most valuable lessons that we've learned as mums.
Not to have kids. How I say that. Most valuable lesson I've learned as a mum has probably been patience. I've learned to be very patient all the time and adapt to different situations and work on your feet. Like everything's just working on the feet. Like if no one prepares you for that happening or for that happening or for the broken ankle or for... That's all just learning on your feet and taking it in your step, I suppose.
I don't think anyone's ready for the level of sacrifice that you have to make. It's not about you in life anymore. It's about the baby. It's about the children. It's about everything so your needs always come last. And that's kind of hard in that first 3 to 6 months for people to adjust to. I personally found it very difficult. I left the country at Australia at 6 weeks old with my newborn baby, and I was kind of on my own in Europe, and the level of responsibility on my own was just overwhelming.
You just had a baby, so you're probably the freshest mum to talk. Congratulations, Alicia's just had a little baby.
Thank you. Yes, Isaac's 8 weeks old. And I think that being organised is what I've learned is the most important thing for me personally. I know it's important to be adaptable and ready to change at any minute, as you were saying. But to keep my sanity, I have everything organised down to a T. To make sure that I have 3 children under 5. 3 children under 5, so I do need to be really organised.
And plus you're organised anyway.
I'm an organised type.
She's an organised person. You should see her desk.
I think it's just like fly by the seat of your pants when you're a mom and a lash artist, to be honest. You have to be as organised as you can, but you can't help things happening. Things go wrong. And when you involve kids or animals, in case you have fur babies, things go wrong. And you have to know that, your family is the most important thing. Sometimes it's really hard to say, oh, I can't do your lashes today, I have to cancel an appointment, and your client gets upset with you, or, is threatening to leave a bad review or something like that because you've cancelled their appointment. But at the end of the day, your family is there, and the clients that care about you and treat you like a human are the clients that you want to service.
To me personally, my advice would be, and the hardest thing I had to come to terms with, was not actually listening to other people's opinions. Everyone raises kids differently. Everyone runs their salon differently. Everyone's only too quick to talk about which glue to use, which lash to use, which looks better. From my perspective, which company to use for shipping or which football club to take your son to. I think sometimes you've got to stand up for yourself and back your own judgment and not certainly take on advice, but, be confident with the advice you choose for yourself. You know your own family and you know your own business.
Being a mum and working in the lash industry, I think, is a bit of a blessing. The lash industry, we're really lucky because we primarily service women in salons, and women generally either have children, nieces, nephews, no children, and they can be extremely empathetic. So, if stuff happens, as Alicia said, I inherited my youngest daughter's children when the youngest was 8 months old. And that was such a shift to be, child-free almost from raising my first children to suddenly having children again and being in the salon. My whole salon had to adjust to that. Even our clients, my clients were feeding the baby, taking the baby for walks in between while they're waiting. I'd tell them, your appointment's at 10, would you mind coming in 20 minutes early and do some babysitting? And it just became this amazing lash family. So now I came from 25 years in corporate. I could never have done that. I worked in a corporate role for over 4 years before my boss recognised that I even had children. And when he confronted me one day about that, and he said, I didn't know you had children. I said, no, and if you did know, would I be sitting here in this executive role? And he went, well, to be honest, I don't know. So there you go, whole new subject for another day. But being a mum being in certain professions, the lash industry gives us that flexibility. And I think that's one of the main attractions for working women that are in a corporate style role and are looking for something to change to. This is the thing to change to.
The industries that have a good culture and everyone's really flexible, and because it's mainly driven by women or powered by women, we all work as a village and empower each other. And it's one of the things that we pride ourselves at Prolong, is that we have the partnership program where we want to give you advice, we want to talk to you, we want to educate you, we want to help you, we want to give you products that can help you build a business and take some of that stress that we've already done for you. Like, we've done all the testing, we've proven that the product can work for you. So sometimes take that leg up. You know, it's not the easy way out, it's a really smart way out.
And at Prolong Lash, we really do walk the talk. A lot of our employees here are mums,
Single mum.
single mums that have commitments to their children at school pickup. So the office clears out at school pickup time. Everyone reconvenes later. You know, that's another amazing flexibility that you can offer in an industry like this.
I would probably say that being a mum's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done with my life. But it doesn't define you. You need to really have something that is for yourself, because you do lose yourself when you're a mum. I'm sure everyone's sitting here nodding with me. You know, you lose your identity, you lose your confidence, you lose your body, like all the things we know that over the time you can't get back from your 20s and your 30s. So you just got to learn to roll with that and make sure you've got, you know, your own interest. And your kids can certainly be your life, which my kids have been my life, but I've always had something on the side, and to work at Prolong has been an amazing 4-year venture, working with all these other women and ladies who are in the same boat, and we've become friends, and we've become, you know, we go to each other's parties and kids' birthdays, and I think it's really nice to have a culture where that's, for me, this is like an extended family who have helped me raise my village. Kerry feeds my kids when I'm doing conferences. Yeah. So if I'm at a conference speaking, you can guarantee my kids are getting fed or picked up by Jude or whatever. So
yeah, we'd be all fooling ourselves if we were to say that becoming a lash artist and being a mum was an easy transition or an easy thing to do. Because being a mum is not easy. Working is not easy, no matter what profession you're in. Just in my opinion, just having that little bit of added flexibility just enables you time to breathe and maybe, you know, use those organisational skills, because you know that you're supported in an industry that's all about women. What is the thing that worried you the most?
Yeah, I worked for myself when my daughter was born, my first baby was born. I worked for myself. So I worked for Kerry for a very long time, and then worked for myself for 3 years. And my biggest fear when I worked for my own business was that I was going to lose my clients, because, you know, if you go away for more than 3 weeks, your client has to go somewhere else to go and get a refill. And that caused me to push myself to go back to working when my daughter was 3 weeks old. I did my first client again, which when I look back, I actually regret doing that, because I didn't give myself time with her and I didn't give my body time to heal. And that was a bit of a mistake, but I did only do that with a few clients. Something that I did do was, because I got my lashes done myself, I had a really great relationship with another lash artist that I trusted, very highly regarded lash artist in my area. And I sent all my clients to her. And I sent them to her knowing that maybe they wouldn't come back to me, but also knowing that if they love me enough, they probably would. So it was just like that leap of faith to go, I trust this other person that does my lashes, and I trust that she's not going to be, you know, trying to steal my clients away. And you know what? I would say 90% of my clients came back to me when I started working again.
it must be good.
I hope so.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was still with a company called Rip Curl, and I was kind of ready to give up. I was at that stage, I was nearly 34, and I was ready to leave that industry, but I also thought, I also felt quite nervous about losing that money that you earn and becoming reliant on someone, and then you have to get that in your head that it's okay, it's fair for you to have the baby, and it's fair for you to have some time, and it's fair for you to have some time out. It's your role as a mum is just as important and harder than your role as a CEO or as a lash artist. So don't feel that guilt. Don't feel that guilt. Just enjoy that journey.
Remember another thing that worried me when you're working for yourself is I'm not going to get paid. Mm-hmm. And so when I found out that I was going to have a baby, I immediately opened up a separate bank account. That was my maternity leave savings, so I paid myself a certain amount in there every week, and I made sure that I was going to be able to continue to give myself a steady income stream, and be it much less than I was ordinarily getting, but enough to get by and give myself that time off. So that is an important thing to take into account as well. Thanks for watching today, guys. If you liked the video, please like and share it, and comment below on what your most valuable experience is as a lash artist and as a mum, so that our other lash artists can see this and get help from it along the way.
Out there on your own this Mother's Day, and we're all thinking of you, and we send big love and hugs and kisses for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.